So I recently picked up this lens to kind of beef up my photography game. I've been shooting on our Sony A7R II. It's what we've shot on for just years and years and years. We do have a couple other Sony mirrorless cameras that we do use, but this is just kind of the one that we've always had out and about. I used it to shoot Zach. Took advantage of some really great lighting in his place. And unfortunately, it was a little too hot, so I brought it home and I threw it in Lightroom and I started tweaking it and I ended up loving it. And I'm going to try and duplicate that. This is the original that you're seeing here. You can see you can pull in and you really have a lot of great detail. And I did shoot uncompressed raw. Just so I have more to play with. But let's get into it because I really enjoy this process. This is my favorite part about photography, next to the actual, obviously, creating a look with somebody. This was kind of an impromptu shoot, and I was just excited to use my lens. So we didn't go real hard on any kind of concept. We just thought, let's get some great pictures of Zach. So that's what we did, and we have one here. So over here on the side, I usually, if you're not familiar with Lightroom, then you'll see as we go through, but if you are, you'll know what all of these are. And I don't know if there's actually a correct way to approach this, if you're supposed to do one or the other first, like do you do contrast or exposure or color, or do you work on the noise first, like whatever. But I just do it the way I do anything creative, and that's the way I want to do it. And I feel like most creative people, that's kind of how they do it. But that's where we're going to start today. So I pulled over my menu here over to the side, and you have a few different options here. You have a crop and a heal and different kind of masks. I like to start out with just the light and the coloring. So with a photo like this, I think since it's so high resolution, I will, there's a few things that I want to touch up, just lightly blend in, not much, but I think that I'll wait till after I color and work on the noise, so the healing is smooth and I know what it's going to look like. I feel like in the past, if I do the healing first, and for those of you who are watching don't know what I'm talking about, so healing it, you got like a little band-aid guy here, and you can choose your different tools. But let's say this is not something I'm going to remove, but let's say I wanted to remove this little mole, freckle, whatever this is on his cheek. I'm going to hit that, and that will automatically pick another area on his face to kind of camouflage that. And you can come down here and like mess with the consistency, so you can make it so you can see it perfectly, or go all the way up and to where it completely fades away. But sometimes in the past, when I've done that first and then I go into coloring and contrast and stuff like that, you end up starting to see those spots. So today, being that this, being that this doesn't need it, I'm just going to skip that step altogether and go straight to the coloring. What am I going to work on first here? I think I might try to bring down the hot spots here. Some on his forehead. And it's not really anything that bad, but I might just kind of like play around here. See the highlights and the white spot, and the whites are usually a good place to go. And every time I'll adjust those there, and anytime I adjust something, I come down to the bottom here and I kind of click to see what I had just done as a whole. So you can see it doesn't just focus on his face, it kind of is an overall edit on the whole picture. Having done that, I feel like it's a little less contrasty, which is not a bad thing. I love the glow of his skin, so I might want to enhance that just a little bit. So I'm going to come down here and add a little cool in the shadows, but also bring this little guy over, because that's going to warm up his skin and bring out some warm tones all around. So I'm going to go there a bit. Might make it a little extreme. I can always pull it back. Again, This is the original without anything. This is what I've done so far. If you want to see it a little closer, we will. That is what I've done. That's my rendering. This is the original. Original is still great, but I'm going to see where this takes me. So right now, so we're looking at, I do miss some of those darks in his hairs and his whiskers, so I'm going to pull down those blacks just a bit. Just a wee bit. I might even bring up these whites a little bit. And then I'm going to check it. I'm going to come up over here and I'm going to raise this. No, that's not where I want to go. I want to raise the darkers. No. Sometimes it really is just kind of a puzzle or a game. And right now I'm going to go to the little point, color my bob, and I'm going to pick an area of his skin that I want to enhance. So I'm going to go there, and then I can you know what? I'm going to skip this, actually. I'm going to leave it as it is right now, and I'm going to come down here to the masks, and I'm going to select my subject. And this is all AI generated, and it's usually pretty good. Every once in a while it selects something it's not supposed to, but this should select only Zach. So Zach is turned red. We know that he is recognized to be the subject from Lightroom. So what I want to do here is I want to come down and select color. Sometimes too, like I can hear my computer kind of revving up. So it's trying to think. All right, I'm going to pick that section of his forehead. I'm going to pull it down. And you can see it's very subtle, but I just want to give him a little more of just a little more, well, that's a lot. A little more color. Okay. And let's see before and after. So we're, no, not yet. And after. So a little bit more of a suntan look. I think I'm good with that for now. I just wanted a bit. And then I'm going to come back up here to the colors. And actually, no, nix that. I'm going back. I'm going to hit the background. I'm going to add a new mask. And right now I'm going to, the walls behind him, I want to bring those out. So I'm going to go down here to the point curve, and I'm going to go a little blue. That doesn't look quite right to me. So I'm going to just go a little more golden, maybe a little more brown here, maybe somewhere in between. Not too yellow. So I'm just going to keep messing with this until I kind of hit the zone that I want to be in. Not really finding it right now. I wish there was a paintbrush tool on this, a dropper on this that I could select part of his skin, because that's kind of what I want to marry it with, is to kind of pop with his skin color. It does after a while too. Like sometimes you have to walk away. Sometimes I have to walk away because I just, my eyes start playing tricks on me. All right, so for now, I think I'm just gonna come over here and warm it up a little bit. Just some straight up temperature here. All right, so that's a little bit better. Oof, no, see down here, you can see all these blues. I don't like the blues in the shadow. So I'm just going to ditch that altogether and just go, oh, that's it. That's what I wanted right there. I might even, nah, just the warm, I might hit it about, let's go about 18. All right. All right, so far, before, after, okay. I actually am missing some of that cool tonage going on in the picture now, because now I feel like everything is all just kind of yellowy. I think I might want to pull the blues down. So back up here in your colors, I'm going to go to the color mixer and select my blues, because these colors in his shirt, I think I want to bring those down so they're a little more muted. So they're more of a charcoaly. Yeah. Ah, look at that. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. So there and there. Let's see where else. I'm going to come up and focus on his eyes. This, especially a guy like Zach and obviously my husband, eyes like this really pop out. These light color blue, green eyes. Both of my kids have eyes like this. But I love to add a little brush here, and I'm going to go down to clarity, and I'm going to kick that mofo all the way up, and then I'm going to come over to dehaze, and I'm going to lighten that a little bit, and then I'm just going to pop in here just a smidge, just the itty bittiest smidge. I'm going to highlight it like that. And we're going to wait for a minute. Oops, I went wrong way on the highlight. And I'm going to go real extreme so I can kind of see where my brush has been. Sometimes it's a little hard, but we're going to turn it down afterwards. So I'm just going to pop those right there. Okay. I'm going to come back to dehaze because that's what made it all white. So that's kind of where it was. That's the original. So clarity, I'm going to add some texture because it's just a little more crisp. And then I'm going to come up over to dehaze. I'm going to dehaze it a bit. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to kick up some color because I want these eyes to pop a little bit more. Still his original eye color. It's just, yeah, well, okay. Maybe I can't completely honestly say it's his original eye color because that's pretty extreme. But nonetheless, it's still going to look great. All right, so yeah, you got it. It's just a little brighter. So you can see one eye to the next. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same thing, maybe a little less because this eye is in the shadows a bit. So we don't want this eye as bright because then it's going to look, just look kind of weird. It'll look like somebody purposely tried to brighten it. And though we are, we still want it to be what it originally was, just enhanced, just brought to the surface a little bit more. And let's see about that. Yeah. Okay. That's a little, it's a little much. So I think I'm just going to come down here and pull these down just a little bit. So it's not as, and I think it's really about the dehaze. All right, let's look at that. All right. So you can see it just like draws attention to his eye a little bit more. I like that. I'm going to come back up to color, let that sit. And now what am I going to look for? I think that I want to pull down some of these hot spots right here. And sometimes that's a little hard to do, but I think that if I come over here and I add a mask, and I could do linear gradient. I believe I can hit the exposure, pop this guy right here. So this is going to, what's happening here? This is going to allow me to, there we go. I'm going to turn this guy sideways, probably about like that. And come up here. Unfold him. All right, so we're starting to get a little bit of a shadow or a shade there, which is kind of what we want. So again, I like to go really extreme. Whoa, that's super, oh my gosh. Am I not on my? This is working backwards. Oh, because I flipped it backwards. Ah, shite. All right, I gotta go like this. There we go. I did it backwards. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay. Still got a bit of a hot ear. But I do feel like this hotness over here came down a little bit. I think I'm gonna go a little bit less though, because I still want it to look like there's sun coming through, but yeah, all right. And then I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna add a brush mask, and I'm just gonna do this manually here on his ear, just to bring down this. Do a couple clicks. These brush tools really slow down my computer. Okay. Let's see before. See the difference? It really pulls down those brights. And then I'm going to come up here, and I feel good about his coloring. I want to add some vignettes. First, I'm going to add a smidge of clarity, and actually, maybe I'll go less clarity and more texture, because I want to see the definition without it being harsh. It's really harsh, right? So I'm going to let it live just a little short of where it's at with the clarity. I'm going to add a little texture because I want him to feel real. I want to see the little parts of his face because it's such a detailed photo. I'm going to add some vignette now. And let's go hard, make it wide, feather it out. And so you see it's really starting to become a little darker, a little moodier. There's the before. Here's where we're at. Let's see. I'm going to add, there's not a lot of noise here, but maybe a little luminance will help kind of slow down the noise. And I think that's not too much, maybe a little grain. Let's make it seem feel a little film. And then right here on his nose, you can kind of see a little bit of something, a little skin texture and oil glands and stuff. So I'm going to just kind of smooth that out a bit. I'm going to hit that once, see where AI takes it. Oof, that is not the right color. And mellow it down a little bit, and maybe we can even move this if it doesn't feel quite right. Let's change the capacity. So at this point I'm just kind of playing, so you can still see that part of his nose. It just brings some, it's almost like a skin graft. Just pulls it from somewhere else and blends the two depending on how much you allow it to. All right, so last thing I'm going to do now that I did that, I'm going to come back over here to this little guy and work on the blacks and shadows, because you can get like super, you've seen pictures online that it's just the shadows are super pulled down, which is moody, and I really love that. I actually really do love that, but I'm going to go a little, and by a little I mean a lot less than that, and I'm just going to let that ride. I'm going to see those dark spots, faded a bit, but just put that on top of it. And at this point, I think I'm going to walk away from it and come back. I might work on the complexion of the face a little bit. That's the before, and that's what I've come up with. Now that we've seen that, I'm going to show you the other picture that I did. I already did this, actually. This is the second time I did it, so I'm kind of seeing how close this is to, nowhere near this one. Oh, maybe. So that's the one I did before, which is a lot darker. And This is today's. Okay. Yeah, the one I did before was a lot darker. Oof, I really love these dark tones though. So it's just kind of, I guess it depends on who's looking at it and what you think, but those are my two different renderings so far. I'll probably even do another one. I might do a black and white one. But that's where I'm at right now. And thanks to my new lens for that. And there'll be more pictures on my Instagram page, Blue Hamilton Photography, and also on our Patreon, and that link will be in the description of this video, Patreon/Mountain Blue. And anyways, that's the update on the latest pictures I'm taking. We will soon have some prints up on our website, 25 North, of this guy up here, available framed, matted, and a couple different sizes, shipped to your door from us. So stay tuned, because that'll be coming up soon. We'll have those available, and I might have a couple other prints available as well, with some possible framing options. Thanks for watching, y'all. All right, I'm gonna continue just drowning in my computer and editing photos. Peace to the world.